Hello, Dungeon Master. Let's dust off those costumes and hope for a standing ovation as we create a theatre roleplay map. In the video, we will also go through some encounters you could use in your own game. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. We section the map into the seating area and the performance area. We change the map to have a visible black grid line on the floor. We do this by going to File, Save As, then select Grid On, ensuring the transparency is turned up. And there you go. We can now place the chairs equal distance apart, and if any fights break out, no one will be stepping over the mark. Oh, come on, that was a good one. We have different types of seating available. Like all theatres, the front row will usually be the most expensive seats, where people can get the best view. So we put really lush and comfy chairs there. The second row back are normal chairs, but with cushions for the tushies of those patrons. This will be the second tier down in price. We decide that the front row will not only get nice comfy chairs, but they are also given tables where they can place the food and drink that will be served to them. The tables are indeed two tables stuck on top of each other, but this is clearly just a larger version of afternoon tea, darling. You can never have enough surface area for food. These front row seats will mainly be taken up by nobles or other famous or important people, maybe those that have gained favour with the owner. Instead of reserving a box, you would get the prestige of sitting at the front. The back of the theatre, the rest of the seats are just plain seats. These would be the cheaper ones. Later in the video, we change it so there are 2 rows with cushions and 2 rows without. Any of my fellow OCD people out there? You'll notice that the stage is closer to the curtain on one side than the other. Please do not panic.
Don't panic! Don't panic!
Aconite does come back and rectifies this issue later in the video. Don't worry, he's been sat in timeout for a while now and he's been able to think on his actions. So to try and distract you from this, I knew an actor who fell through the floor recently. Don't worry. It was just a stage he was going through. Oh, come on. Okay. Fine, let's talk about encounters and how you can use the map instead. We will talk about mimics in a second, but the first, and often used encounter, would be similar to the Phantom of the Opera. This could be a person or an actual ghost. They would be roaming the building and disrupting the plays. Maybe objects keep being misplaced and rigs keep breaking and falling. Did an actor name the Scottish play aloud?
Macbeth.
And now the production is cursed. Do the cast members keep getting injured or even being killed off? The players have been asked to investigate and rid the theatre of this phantom. They might find out that the ghost is an actor who died before he could get his final curtain call. So the players will need to help, assist, and act out that final show. Or you may have them just battle it out to be rid of him. If the players decide not to help and move on, maybe down the line they'll hear of another group that completed it and got notoriety and a large reward for their hard work. Actions have consequences. Another way to use this map is by having a group of travelling bards or illusionists appearing on stage for a night or two. The show is the buzz of the town, with folks queuing to get tickets. The group isn't famous per se, but the townsfolk are almost falling over themselves to attend. Those who are perceptive enough might realise that there's quite a strong magic presence here. You might have several of the bards casting suggestion on the townsfolk who buy the tickets and love the show. The show itself is enjoyable. There are animated objects, magical lights, amazing sound effects, and good music that they perform. But if the person isn't under the influence, it might not be seen as a showstopper. Will the players succumb to the magic and enjoy the show, handing over gold for the privilege? Or will they hold out and not fall for this travelling band's tricks? If some players succumb and some don't, you'll have a fun time on your hands as the players try to work their way through this encounter. Will the players stop the bards, or just let them continue on their way? An unusual way you could use this map is by having the theatre being a magical, mystical mimic. Hear me out. What if the theatre itself was a mimic? I mean, one that was really large when it appeared in town many years ago, but with time, it's slowly grown bigger and expanded what it has to offer. Extra dressing rooms, extra desks, extra chairs. With enough people passing through the doors, a few won't be missed if they go missing, especially those stagehands. They're renowned for always being flaky about turning up on time, if at all. Who knows when they decide to just up and leave town? The manager will just hire a new one. Stagehands are actually amazing. Visitors who sit at the back of the theatre might not be missed if they go missing either. Or people that like to break in and walk around at night might not ever go home. Have the players come to enjoy a night at the theatre? Or are they investigating the disappearance of certain people? Seeing the players' faces when they realise just what they're stood in will be priceless. Obviously, this would need to be for a high-level player group, given the mimic size, but this could be the final epic battle of a campaign, or even a one-shot, where players must use everything at their disposal and fight for their lives. If they cannot be victorious, the curtain will fall one last time, and there will be no calls for an encore. Before we move on to the next encounter idea, I just want to point out that we placed a number of props onto the stage. This can be used for any type of play. We even add in a little gingerbread man, tucked up safely in bed, but also locked away for questioning.
Tell me, or I'll...
No, not the buttons! Not my gumdrop buttons!
They say never work with animals or children. The current production of Dr. Dolittle, I mean Dr. Incomplete Big? No one will ever know. Well, this production didn't use stage props or stuffed toys as the animals. They really did bring in a menagerie of animals. Unfortunately, someone didn't put them away properly. And so now, the entire theatre and even the streets are being ransacked and rampaged by exotic and dangerous animals. The players are asked to help round up all of those that are loose. There will be a number of different animals, each with their own level of ease to recapture. The tortoise and the robotic sloth might be easy to find and return, but then there's the rampaging rhino, the erratic eagle, and the angry ape. Prepare yourself for utter madness, as the players cannot simply just fight the animals. Well, I guess that depends on your players, but they will be rewarded if they bring back the animals safely to their cages. Finally, the stage is put right, and we can all breathe a sigh of relief. No one will ever suspect differently. We get rid of the black and white flooring, but keep the section colours. So hopefully this video has given you some inspiration. If it has, please do hit that like button so we know you like this content. And if you can do me a favour and leave a comment, it will really help the algorithm. We're trying to grow this channel, so appreciate all the support that you give us. If you're feeling fruity, you can also support us further on Patreon, where you gain access to all of our maps and find more about our life behind the green screen. So until next time, may the dice be ever in your favour.